So this is going to be a one-off thing because Star Wars, I want to read all the books, but the only book I've read in the new canon is Bloodline, which I really wanted to talk about and not really spoil it because this is a book that probably a lot of people haven't read if you're not a super Star Wars fan, like one that like breeds at licks at all the expanded media. And I'll just talk about this basically spoiler free with what I thought about it because I did want to talk about the books, the one book that I've read so far in the new canon. But I think that I really wanted to mention this because this is a really, really good book. The way that the book is set a couple years before Force Awakens, where Princess Leia in the Galactic Senate, there's an uproar between two factions, and the way that Princess Leia wants to she wants to fix this. It's still been in such a weird state since after Return of the Jedi, after the Emperor has been killed. And Leia discovers something that starts planting the seeds to things leading up to the Force Awakens, and she realizes this case is spreading, like there's something going on in the galaxy that is going to expand. And I'm trying to be very vague about this, and she tries to, with the help of these friends, she tries to set out to figure out this mystery, which it does a really good job of this mystery because the way that this is incorporated in this book is it's close to The Force Awakens, and The Force Awakens didn't really, whenever that started, it didn't give like a full, like, oh, this is why all this is happening. And I feel like this did a good job of elaborating on this like bridging the gap between the movie, like starting the movie. Like this really actually worked in a way for Leia to start being important in Force Awakens, if you understand what I mean. I love the fact that in this book she sets out to figure out this mystery that will unravel, and it eventually leads into The Force Awakens, like before the movie starts, but it leads up to it in a really smart way. And I love the fact that this character Leia in this book is really actually in a way never interpreted as I have seen her in the movies, because you've never had like the inner dialogue with Leia, like her thoughts or what the author is identifying as like how she feels. And I love the idea that we got that with this character. This character is not a blank slate in the movies, but she's just one that I liked delving into how she thought about stuff. Like it actually gave good descriptions of her and how she has felt in this situation over like this expanding situation starting to happen in this book, and with her relationship with Luke, with Han, and with how she's Vader's father, Vader's her father. I really like that, and I really like how this book does a good job of building up Leia and giving her the inner descriptive things about her that I did not know. And I really love the fact that it actually spans across other Star Wars media. And this isn't really a spoiler, but there's something where she mentions her mother, Padme, which I thought was awesome because they've never met. And I love the fact that it says like she's seen old holograms of Padme and they had the same eyes. And I love the fact that it gave more to this character and showing the overarching like it gave more about her with this universe, with these characters that she has never met. Her thoughts with how Luke and Han Solo and Ben and then Vader. And I love the fact that it just really bridges the gap between Force Awakens and gives her a really great inner dialogue and inner thoughts that really gave this character more depth, even though of course she has depth in the movies. But I mean, like, you never get to hear her inner thoughts because she isn't quote unquote the main character, even though she's one of them in these movies. But I think that they do a good job of building up this character and giving her such a great story, and I think that this actually works really well for her. So overall, this book I think is really incredible, and I think it's one that if you're a Star Wars fan and you want to delve into the books, this is the only one I've read so far with the new canon, but this one was really, really great, and I really recommend it. And actually, I think this isn't going to be a one-off thing. I think I'll talk about the other Star Wars books as I read them, but they're going to take a while because I don't read books fast, but I want to read them. That's why I'm collecting a couple of them right there. But I do want to read the rest of these books. I do want to, because the expanded universe of Star Wars is so fascinating, and the new canon universe expansion is fascinating. This book was fascinating. It did a great job of building up a character that I never knew much about. I mean, I knew about, but like stuff in her head, like it does a good job of with the writing. And Claudia Gray, who I've never heard of before, is a really good author in this book. Like, she does a really good job with building up all this stuff, the characters, build up to to the Force Awakens. It really does a great job with all of that. So overall, I think this book is fantastic, and I think it's really worth a read if you are itching for more Star Wars, if you've seen all the movies in the show.